Hello there YouTube, it's Jacob from Team Pyramid, and today I'm coming at you. I wanted to talk about my top 5 draw spells for August 2018. It's not so much August 2018, it's just the top 5 draw spells that at the moment that are legal. So these are generic ones, these are not archetype defining or anything like that, and like I said, these are my opinion, and I would really like to hear if you guys have any other cards that you think would be better on here, or would you think are better than these cards. So please let me know in the comments below. But you will see the picture of the card appearing here, and it'll be down here. So you will see that coming up. So these are in no particular order. So let's get into it, okay? So I want to start this off with Upstart Goblin. So Upstart Goblin is a phenomenal card with very little downside to it. So yeah, you draw one card and you increase your opponent's life points by 1,000 points, straight up. Okay, so it has very compared to all the other cards that we're about to talk about, it has very little downside to it. So the fact that this card allows you to go ahead and actually draw a card, and all it does is give your opponent 1,000. To me, that is no problem at all. However, this card has been limited for a reason, because it is good. It is that good. So you're pretty much playing with 39 cards in your deck at that point. When it was at 3, yeah, you're playing at 30. You're playing at 37 cards in your deck because you're getting a draw for what, giving your opponent 1,000 life points, and 1,000 life points in this sort of time on Yu-Gi-Oh is very minuscule. So that's the first card. Like I said, there's very little to talk about with Upstart Goblin. It's just a genuinely good card. So the next card I want to talk about is Pot of Duality. So this sounds a little bit different. So this card, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and you pick one and add it to your hand. So yeah, you're cherry picking a card from the top 3, which anytime normally would be amazing. Okay, so there's other cards like that does that, such as Magical Circle, and that's an amazing card in its own as well. But like I said, we're not talking about archetype specific, we're talking about generics. So yeah, you can only activate Pot of Duality once per turn. Okay, so bit of a downside to that. So after you've selected your card, the rest are shuffled back into your deck. Okay, so you're not throwing them to the grave, you're not losing the resources, they are there. Okay, so you've selected one, you've added it to your hand, you've shuffled the rest back into your deck. You can only activate one once per turn. Okay, on top of that, it also stops you from being able to special summon for the rest of the turn. Okay, so you really need to think when activating this card or playing this card, especially with how we all play today, which special summon this, special summon that. Special summon really shouldn't be called special summon anymore, because there's not really very anything special about it. That's how it's. The normal summon should be more special summon than anything, because we only get to do that once per turn. So it's one of them things. It's how the game has evolved, which is fantastic. The game is constantly evolving, but special summon isn't what it used to be. But that's for a different video, a whole other conversation topic, that one. So yeah, like I said, you really need to think with Pot of Duality before you activate it. Is this card the right card? Is it the right time to activate this card? And if so, how much are you putting yourself back because you can't special summon? Okay, moving on to the third card is Card of Demise. Sorry. Card of Demise is a phenomenal card. It'd be so much better if it was like the effect that they gave it in the anime. Draw until you have 5 cards in your hand, and at the end of the 5th turn, I then discard my hand. That's amazing. No, it's a little bit different to that. So you draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. Okay, and but at the end of your turn, that turn that you activate it, you discard your hand. Okay, you can only activate it once per turn. Understandable. And it also stops you from being able to special summon. So it has a lot going for it, but it also has a lot going against it. So, my personal opinion, Card of Demise is a anti-meta card. You mostly see it in anti-meta decks. And yeah, I know there's going to be a comment or someone saying on here, but it was in a meta deck. It was in a meta deck. It was in True Draco. The whole concept of True Draco. Yes, it's a meta deck. It was a meta deck. It's now tier 2, tier 1.5, tier 2. The whole concept behind True Draco was it stopped your opponent from being able to do what they wanted to do. So it was the way it played and its whole play style was very anti-meta. The fact that you can make your monsters immune to spell, traps, and monster effects by tributing off what you want to tribute off, absolutely incredible. The reason why the deck is still good, even after it's been utterly destroyed on the ban list, is still a reason why it's good to today. So, like I said, this is a very anti-meta type card to me, card of Demise. Decks that spring to mind for me that have played this card and it works really well in it is Paleozoic Frogs. Works absolutely amazing in it. True Draco, no one can deny it works well in True Draco. Counter Fairies, I play it in my Counter Fairies, it does work well as an extender. And obviously, Barrier Stun, it worked brilliant in that as well, getting to the right stun card that you need. It, like I said, it works well in anti-meta decks. It gives you a +2 at any time. It gives you a +2 at any time, but it also has a lot of drawbacks, like I said. So not only that, you can only draw until you have actually 3 cards in your hand. So if you've got no cards in your hand, you activate. You've got that 1 card in your hand. You activate it, you get 3 cards. So it's a +2. Sometimes it's only a +1, but it's still a plus. But at the same time, it's got a lot of drawbacks. Like I said, you're throwing away your hand at the end of the turn, and on top of that, you cannot special summon that turn. So again, it's one of them cards that you need to really think about before just jumping in and using it. You can easily lose games if you do not play the card correctly. And I don't want to sound old Zane Truesdale out of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, but having the card and knowing how to use it are 2 different things. So definitely think about it. Number 4 is this one is probably the most controversial draw card there is, and it's Card of Demise. So not Card of Demise, Pot of Desires. Okay, so this card is probably the most is literally the most controversial card draw wise possible. People say it's a -9. People say it's a +1. At this precise moment in time, with today's meta, I'd say it's a -10. So even a -10, because you guarantee you drop that, you're getting hit with Ash Blossom. So the card itself, you banish 10 cards face down from the top of your deck, you draw 2. Self-explanatory. It's Pot of Greed with a downside. It's literally that simple. It's a +1. Okay, because you don't count the cards at the top of you don't count the cards in your deck as a resource until you've got them in your hand and actually able to use them. Okay, so however, this card, with today how it's running, everyone's got to remember, hand traps are a thing at the moment. They're the big thing at the moment, and there's a reason for that. It's because the game needs them. But Ash Blossom is one hell of a bitch. When it gets dropped on you after you've just literally activated Pot of Desires, you just negged yourself 10 cards. You're getting ready to draw and then they drop it. You want to lean over that table and strangle the person that has done that, because you just banished 10 cards for nothing. And yeah, you can't get them back because they're face down. There's only certain cards that allow you to get them back, like Necroface and things like that, but I play Necroface in my Lightsworn. Can you tell me anyone else that plays Necroface in any other deck to get that card back? Or even, please let me know in the comments below, other cards that get back from banished face down cards. I would really like, that's me actually asking, I'd really like to know. So if you know any other cards other than Necroface, please comment below and let me know. Okay? But like I said, it's a controversial card. It is very, very, very generic. You can pretty much throw it into any deck. But like I said again, you got to know how to play the card and when the right time to play the card is, because otherwise you're gonna lose out on valuable resources for the duration of the game. Yeah, it's got the thing where you can only activate it once per turn, but the reason for that is you just literally banish 10 cards from the top of your deck. I played a card. I'm not going to bitch and moan about too much about it, but definitely have a little think before you play that card. That's pretty much the same with any of this that I'm saying. Have a think, because no matter what card you play, somewhere along the line there is a downside to it. Okay, so I'm going to give a couple of honourable mentions. So, Into the Veil, it's the one where you banish and then draw a card. Allure of Darkness, I don't even think that's a plus, because you're literally activating it, then banishing a card. So it's not a plus, it's just replenishing and replacing your hand. But it's a very good card. One Day of Peace, there's a reason why this card is still at 1. The fact that you can draw a card and neither player takes any damage, it still gets you your plays. And Hand Destruction, so the one where you discard 2 cards, then draw 2, and the same thing happens to your opponent. They discard 2 and they draw 2. I like that card. Yeah, your opponent's getting draws, they're refreshing their hand, but you never know if they've got their key thing in their hand. So it's one of them ones. I wouldn't say it's ever going to see any day in meta, and if it has, let me know. But I like the card personally. And off to the last card. This one is the one I've put in here for. I know I said these are generic, but I've had to put it in here because it is still technically a card type. This is Pot of Riches. So this is designed for pendulum decks. Okay, so I'm a pendulum player myself. I like pendulum decks. Okay, so this card is you shuffle three pendulum monsters, either from your graveyard or face up from your extra deck back into your deck. You then shuffle and you draw 2 cards. Okay, so the only thing is you can only activate it one once per turn, and it stops you from being able to special summon except from pendulum summoning cards that turn. So as a pendulum player, you really are limited. Yeah, you want to do a lot of pendulum summoning, but you need link monsters out now to get the game going. Definitely have a serious thought about playing it. Yeah, it gives you, in my opinion, it's a +5 because you're getting 3 resources back, plus you're drawing 1. It's a +4, not +5. You're getting 3 resources back, +2 draw. It's a +4. However, it does stop a lot. So make sure you've got a board state in before you activate it. It is one of them cards. I like pendulums. I think I've played it in 1 or 2 decks. I side deck it in my new Odd Eyes build. I actually side deck it in my Odd Eyes build for the fact of you getting extra draws. But there is much better cards out there. Like I said, I just needed to throw this one in because pendulums are still a card, and as much as people hate them, and as much as they've been literally beaten to pieces on the ban list at the moment, it's definitely a good card for that designed around it. It really is. You can't deny that. You're getting back 3 resources and drawing 2 as well. It's phenomenal. But again, it has the downside of it restricts your summoning. So think before you use it again. Like I said, that is pretty much the whole idea of this video. Is draw cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't like you drawing cards, and they will slap some horrible little trick on you. If you activate these sort of cards, they will slap some horrible little trick on you. The only one that really doesn't do anything is, like I said, Upstart Goblin. It's a really good card, but that's it for the video there. If I've missed any out, or if you think that there's any better cards out there, please let me know in the comments below. And like I said, please let me know in the comments below if you know any other cards that bring back face down banished cards. I would honestly like to know that. But thank you very, very much for watching. And as always, if you like the video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Because at the end of this month, I'm doing a giveaway for a playset of Ash Blossoms. So please stay tuned for more information in regards to that. And as always, I hope you have a great day. And if you want to see any decks profiled, let me know. If you want to see any pack opens, let me know. Or if you have any ideas for any other topics or videos, please let me know in the comments below. As always, have a great day, YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one.